All right, Rick, this week's slate of games, it's not great, but there are a couple of good games that people should go out and catch. We're going to start with McNeil and Cedar Park. Both these teams went in the season with high expectations. Both teams struggled in non-district play. Cedar Park went 1-2. McNeil was 0-3, but both teams got big wins last week. What do you expect to see in this game?
I expect to see a close game, first of all, but I'm going to go with McNeil. Mild upset. Cedar Park was one of our higher-ranked teams in the preseason. Adrian Smith, 200 yards again last week. They got their first victory. I see McNeil maybe on a little bit of a streak right now.
I think I'm going to give this one to Cedar Park. Cedar Park offense has definitely been nothing worth writing home about this year, but they did put up 51 last week against Georgetown. That defense is improving. Aside from that game against Lake Travis, their defense has been pretty solid this year, but everyone's been struggling against Lake Travis, so I think that's more of an abnormality than anything. So I think if the Cedar Park defense, those linebackers can corral Adrian Smith, and makes McNeil pass the ball a lot more, I think they're going to be able to pull out a victory. But it's not going to be last week where they scored 51 and won by a billion over Georgetown. This one's probably going to be a 24-21 type game. Game you're going to be at this weekend, good old rivalry game, Liberty Hill, Burnett, two teams expected to contend for that District 8 3A crown. How do you see this one playing out?
Another close game. It's in Burnett, which you would think might give Burnett an edge. But Liberty Hill's coming on strong lately. They've got three outstanding running backs. They rushed for 368 yards. They still got one of the best coaches in the area in Jerry Vance. Burnett has a good quarterback, great quarterback. Dylan Chafin, fantastic player. He can throw the ball. Probably the best quarterback since Stephen McGee was out there. Anyway, I'm going with Liberty Hill on the road.
It's hard to say that there's a do-or-die game this early in the season, but Burnett, they were a favorite last week against Wimberley, and they lost by 7. They cannot afford to start that district 0-2 with Liberty Hill and Wimberley in that district. So if they want to have a district crown and contend for one of those playoff spots, they need to win this week. So I'm going to go with them at home to pull it off. Why don't we go to, looks like we got Stony Point, Leander. Anyway, Leander, an upstart team this year, knocks up Stony Point.
Well, Leander has been one of the surprise teams in 16-5A, but one team that hasn't surprised is Stony Point, who we've had right at the top the whole year. I think they're going to be a serious contender for the 5A state championship. The defense, as you talked about, stellar, and in their last game against Westwood, they scored in every quarter. Very consistent across the board.
Yeah, there's been no question about the Stony Point defense. They obliterated a pretty good Westwood offense last year. Princeton Collins is pretty much a non-factor, and it's arguable he might be the best offensive player in the area this year, and he was a non-factor for them. I think Leander might be able to keep it close for a couple quarters, but I think Stony Point, the way their offense and defense have been playing, they're going to be able to pull away after halftime. So expect Stony Point to get chalk up another win, start 5-0.
We agree on one.
All right. Our last game, I think we're probably going to agree on this one, Killeen and Dripping Springs.
I'm going to go with Killeen. I don't know who you're picking. But Killeen, their offense was tremendous last week against Lake Travis. They eventually lost to Lake Travis, but they scored 35 against them, and their quarterback is sensational. I've liked him since the beginning. Dripping Springs, they've had kind of a topsy-turvy road so far, but they don't outscore teams, and I know that sounds like cliche, but they just don't score that many points. I just think the Killeen's got too much of an offense to lose this game.
I'm going to go with Killeen. Make this simple. Dripping Springs has struggled. Killeen gave Lake Travis their best game so far this year. They were very competitive until Lake Travis was able to pull away kind of towards halftime. So if Killeen was in any other district, we'd be talking about them as a possible district champion pick. But since they're with Lake Travis, looks like they're probably going to settle for second place. But they'll get a win this week. So.
Michael Cummings, a fantastic quarterback.
All right, check back with us next week. And as always, go to statesman.com, the high school page, and play our weekly pick'em game.